Google unveiled this meeting booth that feels like, according to the author, real life science fiction. And from the images and the marketing material, it looks like real life science fiction. Basically, you can sit at this booth, and in front of you is like a TV, but it is a strange TV that makes it feel like you're actually sitting in front of a different person. The reason that's unique is because if it was a traditional TV, it would just feel like a TV, but this really feels almost holographic. It really feels like you're sitting in front of someone else who's miles, hundreds, thousands of miles away from you. Very, very cool technology we're going to talk about today on, I'm going to say today twice, 3 times, today's Not So Critical Update.
I think this is very cool. I'm like super on board with this. We did this story earlier in the week about Meta, Facebook, whatever, complaining about people not using the metaverse and trying to drive this initiative for virtual meetings and in businesses so you can have that feel of FaceTime. That feels like a scam. This does feel very cool.
This feels like I'm just imagining all the places this is going to be at. So big companies are probably going to employ this, and they'll have booths like pods where you can enter, and then someone in the satellite office across the world can enter, and you can have a private face-to-face conversation. That's one example. You're at the airport, and Google's just done this. They're just like, here you go. All you need is a Gmail account. And you can just chill with someone that you know. Eventually, I even imagine that the monitor technology that they're using will become consumerized to the point where instead of having, FaceTime or like a video Zoom call, this is what it'll be like. And you can do that with partners. You could do that with work, colleagues or friends. A lot goes into this special monitor, obviously.
Yeah. So we talked before about one of your criticisms on the Facebook story was we don't need to have more meetings. And if I'm thinking about what this does, is it really what it's adding to a Zoom meeting is the 3D element. Why do we both think that this is so much cooler than... I mean, the metaverse is a bad example because the implementation so far is shit from everything we've seen.
Well, why are we more critical of this? To be honest, we are both products of our upbringing. This hits that sci-fi spot. Meta does not.
Yeah.
This hits that Star Trek, Star Wars itch, which is exactly what it is. This is exactly it. You want to have a, it's a fucking projection of someone who is far, far away from you physically. That's so cool.
If the metaverse was photorealistic and had avatars that actually looked like us in real life, then we would be much more on board with that.
Well, the metaverse does scan your face and it makes an avatar, goofy as it looks, to look like you.
Well, sure.
Right, you can compare like Mark's avatar to his face. Like, obviously it takes facial features and copies it over. Maybe it's the combined notion that has been kind of like shat out by Facebook that they're just not to be liked. They have such, and we've used this a lot on the show, the controversial list against Meta is so long, you couldn't read it in a day. And it keeps growing. Every day it keeps growing. So why would I even support anything they try to do? And then as they do it, it's like they're out of a TV show. Like it's bad comedy. $15 billion has been spent on the metaverse, and they have nothing to show for it. Then Google, there are no privacy / like they're not out of controversy entirely either. They just drop this on you. They're not hyping shit up. They're not like Mark, like, look, I can jump now with my legs because Nike paid us a bunch of money.
Right.
No, they're just like, here you go. They're very cold about it, just like Apple is very cold about it. And I think that changes your perception. It's not so forced down your throat.
I don't know if bias against Facebook shapes my impression of it maybe quite as much as you and Peter. I think my issue with the metaverse is that it's basically Minecraft quality graphics, which seems absurd to me. And I mean, even if it's cool that you could go like have your avatar do something with somebody else's avatar, okay, I guess I get that. It doesn't feel super compelling to me, but there's something about this 3D chat booth that I don't know, it just seems really cool. And I imagine, like, I'm on Zoom with people all day long. You said, I think in the previous video that you don't necessarily want to be on camera on Zoom. I think that's kind of an important element of it. This does feel like then a step forward from that, not just a gimmick, where everything I've seen from the metaverse just feels like a gimmick.
Everything from the metaverse is a rehash and a copy. Yeah. This is original innovation. We shit a lot on Google. They are the biggest canceller of projects ever. We just spoke about them canceling another project, Stadia, the cloud gaming platform. But to be fair to them, at least they're building still. This is innovation. I haven't seen this before. Not in a good, reliable way. And that's what we want, is even if Google cancel this, right, and they sell off the parts, or they just shelf it, don't use it for anything. It's good research, and it kickstarts something. It's a step towards the right direction. Where Mark is standing still, he's not taking any steps. He says, here is, oh, look, VR. Let's make it VR. Oh, look, everyone's talking about metaverse. Let's rebrand to the metaverse, or meta, I guess.
Yeah. And I know
just copying over and over again.
I know Peter says the same thing. I do think we will see some innovation in VR from Meta over the next couple of years.
One positive is that Mark has created competition in the VR space. And that's really good.
Also true, yeah.
Not.
I think their drive Sorry.
Go ahead.
I think Facebook's drive not to be caught off guard again like they were with the iPhone is putting them in a position where they're taking innovation very seriously. And I think as the metaverse matures, they will probably emerge as one of the top tier hardware vendors in that area. Like, it could be so far outside of their DNA that it doesn't happen and they just cannot get it right. But I think they have a tremendous amount of motivation. They clearly have a huge amount of resources to put into it. And my sense is that they're gonna achieve that.
I think that they're gonna be. Here's my prediction, but we can't track it because it's gonna take a long time.
Have at it.
Peter
will declare victory and demand a pizza anyway.
Yeah. Isn't even part of the prediction. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I was on it. Every VR producer will be blown out of the water by an AR producer because people don't care for VR as they do for AR. Augmented reality,
that's true.
Just like your glasses that you have on your face now, are going to be the only thing we care about. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's so true. If AR glasses, yeah, for sure. That's so true. If AR glasses could create this 3D chat experience, instead of sitting in a booth, I could just put my glasses on and have a person projected in front of me.
In front of you.
That would be amazing. Because then I could have that experience where there's a table full of people around me.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm on
As
board.
you look around, you'll see faces, like,
Yeah.
or bodies, I guess. But more so also is the utility for AR will outweigh VR in day-to-day life.
Yeah.
For specialty things, I think VR will work. You'll be able to have the best surgeon, the best neurosurgeon on earth, at least consult like they're in the same room
Yeah.
across the world. That's
Great.
a big deal. But with AR, for example, something as simple as going on a run or taking a bike ride or landing at an airport and getting directions to the Uber site, or it's just endless possibilities with augmented reality. And forget about the video gaming that you could have. Just one that I've, the kid in me always wanted is actual Pokemon battles. Like, and you're just walking down the street and you have that toggled on that, hey, my main Pokemon walks behind me or next to me or whatever on the street, and other people who have that toggled on will see it. The new type of interactions we're going to be able to have are going to be insane. VR will never compete with that because one closes you off and the other enhances reality.
Yeah, I saw another video about the Nreal AR glasses, and those look amazing. I don't know if I'll be able to hold out. I might have to break down and give them a shot. I've been waiting for Peter. Peter said he was going to get some. I've been waiting for a review, but we'll see.
Yeah, if you come back or Peter comes back and Peter says I was not nauseous at all, I'm pulling the trigger, because right now that's the only thing that's holding me. Is that I read some reports that Nreal is also causing nausea. Not a fan of that feeling. I've gotten it in VR before. I don't want it, and I would hold off until they figure that out. And they're working on it. I forget where I read that new glasses, basically they figured out how to keep things stationary, true augmented reality. Like anything, any model could just be on a desk, and as you move, it's excuse me, it stays. We'll see. But yeah, very exciting stuff from Google. Looking forward to possibly in the future trying it. We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, I think on the AR VR front, there's a lot of very cool technology, a lot of really interesting developments, and somehow Facebook is still figuring out how to fuck it up.
Agreed.